making plans for Nigel. This boy is electric.
Hi everyone, welcome back for another video. Today I want to share something with you, a very weird car buying experience. We have bought a new car, we have traded in Susan's Kia Soul, and we've got a new one. It was after a couple of test drives and the whole thing was a little bit odd, so I want to share that with you. I apologise for the impromptu sort of filming on my mobile phone and the lack of lighting, lack of audio, lack of everything really. I've been out playing football this morning and injured myself, so I can't move around too much. I'm laid up on the sofa, so I thought I would just grab hold of the phone and film this for you and share the experience. With a little bit of editing, we filmed the test drives we did, so I can share what's going on and our thoughts about a couple of cars, the Skoda Enyaq Coupe vRs and the Kia EV3 and the Kia Soul. After I've gone through the test drives, I'll share with you what we've actually bought and why.
So it all started with me looking at Auto Trader and seeing some very cheap Jaguar I-Pacers, some brand new ones with delivery mileage, pre-registered, under £40,000. And I've always loved the I-Pace, nice and fast, good driving feel to them and fantastic interiors. So a 70 grand car it seems, for under £40,000, and I like under £40,000, and that's a little bit of a side thing to mention. You know, my Kona electric when I bought it in 2018 was £38,000 before the discounts. My Mini was £35,000. The Kia Soul we ordered and got the order cancelled was £37,000. The Coupe Reborn was £37,000 to £39,000. So was the Volvo EX30. Everything I've been looking at for the last few years is mid to high 30,000s. That seems to be the price bracket that I'm always looking in at the moment. Anyway, aside, I was looking at Jaguar I-Pacers, but then I realised, well, they've got a reliability issue, haven't they? What about a Skoda? We loved the Enyaq when we tested it before, but what about the Coupe version? And I started to see on Auto Trader there were some lovely VRS coupes available for, again, under £40,000. This one, £36,000. This one's at a main dealer in Norwich, so very easy to go and test. And basically, it ticked all the boxes that I was looking for. It's a smart, nice-looking car. It would be a nice experience owning it. It's very different from the Mini, obviously, because it's much, much bigger. It's more like a Model Y sort of size, and I think the back end looks very much like that. Being the VRS model, it was faster than the other models. It's four-wheel drive. It has nice sporty interior. It ticks all the boxes of what I like, but just in a much bigger package. So I was thinking, yeah, trade the Mini in, let the Mini go, and I'll have some fun in a bigger car, something different. So we took Cracker with us, drove the Mini down to the dealer to get a trade-in value and tested the car. This is what we thought on the test drive.
I haven't done one of these for a while. I'm going to give you a quick update on what we think of the car we're test driving today, which is a Skoda Enyaq Coupe vRs. I'll explain in another video why we're testing and why we're looking at changing our cars, but let me tell you what I think about this car. It's a big car, so it compares to a Model Y sort of size and even look. It's not as boxy as the original one, so it looks nice. It felt huge when we first got in it, but after 40 minutes of driving, do you know, it doesn't feel that big at all when you're inside the car. But outside, yeah, it doesn't quite fit in parking spaces, lengthwise and widthwise. It's a big chunky car. But one of the things that I'm finding quite phenomenal about this is the 24 reg model car, 24 year car. It's got a new motor on the back and it's more efficient and faster. We're averaging 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour in this giant tank of a car. 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour. Okay, we're in Norfolk averaging probably 30-35 miles an hour, so it's why we're getting good efficiency. But honestly, I did not expect this car to get did not expect it to get such good efficiency. Watching one of Bjorn Nyland's videos, he was getting 5 miles per kilowatt hour out of this car. Skoda are doing something really, really good with this MEB platform, this 77 kilowatt hour battery. So even this, the high performance model, I think this has 330 horsepower, and it is quick. You put your foot down and there's like a double acceleration, an initial one, and then it really takes off afterwards. It is blisteringly quick. Do you know? too quick really. Throttle response is a little bit, well, it's sort of nice, it's sort of smooth. The drivetrain is really, really smooth, but that very initial first touch of the accelerator does give you a little bit of a jar as you pull away, almost like it's still in normal or sport mode, but it's not, it's in eco mode. So the throttle response isn't perfect. It's such a shame that you can't manually adjust those settings and make it perfect for you, because it's so close to being perfect. It is a lovely, smooth car. Now, having said that, I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but we're going over a few manhole covers and it's crashing over them like a Mini does. Suspension in these 21-inch wheels, or are they even 22 in this? I can't remember, but it's very, very firm ride, but it's set up and it crashes a little bit. It's not as soft. Do you know, actually I think I'd probably prefer the Sportline trim. It'd be a little bit more comfortable and crashing less over bumps. The noise levels inside are higher than the cars we're used to. It's road noise from the tyres that is really, really noticeable, and it's the huge tyres. I think they're 255 section on the back. They're big tyres. So even again, you know, with big wheels, big tyres, how is it getting this sort of efficiency? I really don't know. So a 77 kilowatt hour usable battery with 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour potential for Sunday driving. I mean, that's just a huge range, well above 300-mile range. So this is a very, very good car. Feels sort of nimble on the steering. It's not flighty like a Mini Countryman or an Aceman, which is very darty on the steering wheel and you let go and you're in a ditch. It's nice and solid and soft. It's a comfortable, easy drive. So I wouldn't say it's perfect steering and perfect setup, but it's not doing anything badly, it's not doing anything wrong. What do I not like about the car? The big thing really is the screen and the setup. If you pan onto the screen, Susan. So it seems to be set up for a lot of things over on this left-hand side is for the driver. So if I want to change the fan speed, that's over here as climate, and it's over this side, where I'd expect it to be this side. So it does appear that it's set up for European specs and they haven't changed the software and moved things over to make the things you really want to use often over here. So fan speed levels, you can only change it here when you've pressed the climate button. There's no fan speed button down on the bottom. 2 different heating settings for changing heating on the left and right side, but no fan speed. And we've tried multiple times and can't get the automatic assistant to change fan speed for us. So it's that, changing the fan speed on the climate, is about the only bad thing I've found so far. One of the features I really like about the car is the heads-up display, which I can't show you on screen because the camera doesn't pick it up and you can't see it from the angles that Susan's filming from. But it's got some excellent graphic images for the sat-nav that appear on the screen. So in the Kia, when you go across the central white lines by accident or you're just moving across, you get some really horrible beeps and it doesn't like it. In the Skoda, you get some nice subtle beeps, but it also shows you some angles on the screen, some images on the screen showing you where the central lines of the road should be and which way it's curving as well. It's very good. The animations to help you with sat-nav that come out on the heads-up display are very good. That I'm extremely impressed with. The main screen over here, it's centrally positioned in the car, but again, if it's for the driver to use, why isn't it slightly over towards the driver? It's just annoying that it's almost perfect, but I can't quite reach this side of the screen without leaning forward. So it's almost perfect, but it's not quite there. Anyway, performance-wise, yeah, this is a fast car. 330 horsepower. It really does get up and go. But it doesn't give the sportiness of a small car like the Mini, the firmness and the go-kart cornering. It doesn't have that at all, but it is quick, almost too quick, unnecessarily quick almost. So the VRS side of it isn't a plus for us. I would probably want the Sportline. And the crashing of the suspension, again, I'd probably want the Sportline, not the VRS. What else can we say about the car, Susan, that we like or dislike? Regen. regen pedals to increase or decrease the amount of regen you got, but there isn't one pedal driving in it, and the regen is actually quite weak. The strongest regen this has is only the equivalent of regen 2 on the Soul or the Mini. So that's a bit of a shame, really, that it would be a step backwards. If we upgraded to this car, it wouldn't be any better on the regen, its drivability. I think the biggest thing with this car, if we were to consider getting it, is the back seats. The back seat's huge, so I'm just going to overtake quickly. The back seats are more comfortable, they're more spacious, they're heated, there's USB sockets at the back, etc. It's a more comfortable experience in the back, which is useless for us because the only people that go in the back are the shopping bags or cracker. So to be honest, all of the extra space in this size car is of no use to us. The boot size is excellent, it's huge, it's perfect for cracker and perfect for our luggage, but it doesn't have a lower section to it, so it's not a flat loading area, and there's lots of space there, and there's no tray for you to put on it and adjust the height. So there's no space for lots of charging cables. There's a space underneath for one cable, but we have the AC charging cable, the Type 2 charging cable, and a power extension lead as well. We have all of those things, and a tyre pressure, tyre inflator, and a 12-volt battery emergency box. We have lots of stuff underneath that section on the boot that cracker sits on top of. So again, yeah, this Enyaq's huge, but some of those little things like that, the no section of the boot for lots of things, is something that's missing. Like cup holders in this. If you want to pan down on this, Susan. These cup holders, which are adjustable on size, and this thing comes out. Yeah, it's all great, but it doesn't fit normal sized thermos mugs and cups. They're too small and narrow. So we just sat and had a snack in the car before we set off. There's no flat spaces to put your lunchbox. There's no flat spaces to put your drink on. The cup holders aren't enough for it. So it's, for picnicking in the front seats of the car, it's actually quite impractical for such a huge car and so big a dashboard. So although this is a great car, and although I'm really impressed with the performance and the efficiency of the car, which for me is quite a big thing, you know, this car would cost us about a $25,000 upgrade. This is a 24 model with 9,000 miles on it. It's for sale at $36,000. It's about a £25,000 upgrade from our Soul, and it's not worth it. The Soul does everything as well, and a few things that this doesn't do well, it does better, and it's got more switches and more dials that are more easily usable. It's more efficient. There's a lot going for the Soul, so trying to work out what we get as an upgrade for this for £25,000 is a bigger car, bigger rear seats, more performance, I don't know, slightly more sporty seats, because these are quite sporty, but that's about it. So sadly, it's a no for us. I really thought we might be interested in buying this, but no, there's not enough of an upgrade from our Soul to this to justify £25,000.
So not what I was expecting at all, to hand the car back sooner than we thought. In fact, we drove straight back to the dealer and handed the car back. We didn't want to just go for a joyride in it. But while we had some spare time, there's a Kia dealer next door and they had an EV3 there. So we thought we'd pop in and have a look on the inside of that and see if we could blag a test drive. And lo and behold, Kia were absolutely excellent and got us out in an EV3 straight away.
Second test drive of the day. We're now in a Kia EV3, so it's very interesting to very quickly get a feel for what the differences are. And yeah, size wise it's not an Enyaq, size wise this is a Kia Soul, so that's a very comfortable feeling to us. Interesting, the seat is really weird. It's shallow, it's not as tall, the seat back isn't as tall, so my shoulders don't quite fit inside the seat, they're on the outside, so the seat's a little bit small. Comfortable, but a little bit small, and I think that's what it feels like. The steering wheel feels a little smaller. It's very, very light in the hands, not as firm and heavy as the Enyaq was, so it's more Soul-like again. It's very gentle on the steering, it's one finger turning. All of the sat-nav screens and the digital screens here just seem intuitive and sensible. Big upgrade from the Soul and the Kona and the Nero, but it just seems to be sensible things that they've changed. So there's more screen-based stuff, but we've still got buttons for the climate, so we can turn the temperature up and down, and the fan speed, which, you know, what a silly thing that someone like Skoda and the Enyaq haven't put a single button for turning the fan speed up. Yeah, so first impressions, it's not as sporty, it's not holding me in the car as well, and it's so light, so it's just very gentle to drive. The throttle response is really smooth, not as sharp on that first press of the throttle as the Enyaq was, just very, very similar to the Soul, but the smoothness and the lightness and the ease of driving, it's a delight to drive. The big question again though, like with the Enyaq, is this worth, because this is say £36,000 to buy this car. It's a GTLine EV3, so if it's £36,000, is it worth £25,000 more than our Soul? What does it do that's better? And well, I suppose the software's updated and it's better, so that's good. I think it's got a bigger battery, so that's good. I think it's, what is it, it's about 10% worse efficiency but 20% bigger battery, so you're going to gain, oh, speed limit warning, I'm supposed to be doing 20. That's nice and subtle. Have they got the bongs and made them a bit more subtle? That's nice. One of the things that I don't like, I've seen some people talk about reviews of this car and say, oh look, the new Kias have got 3 different range numbers on them, a max range and a minimum range and a mid-range. And some people have said that's nice because you want to know what's the best you could get and the worst you could get. I don't see it like that. I think I've got 3 bits of data on the screen and 2 of them are definitely wrong. What you want is more options to make that one piece of data accurate and correct. Having 2 bits of wrong information, and the one in the middle, the bigger one, is the one you're likely to be correct. I don't think that's a positive. It's just more data on the screen, but why have more incorrect data on the screen? So I'm not a fan of these 3 different range numbers. I don't like that. Everything's very, very close to hand. Everything feels intuitive. You know, the door handles I can rest my arm on, the center armrest I can rest my arm on. It's all very good. Visibility is excellent on the front windscreen. It's a little bit more raked than the Soul, so it's probably a little bit more efficient. Wing mirrors are they're a good size. I can see plenty out of it. Shame they're not frameless like the Volvo and Polestar. But visibility is very good all round. So yeah. And the picnicability, since we were talking about that in the Enyaq, the cup holders look much better. The space to put your lunchbox is much better. There's some flat spaces on the front of the dash. That's better. This is a much more practical car than the Enyaq, even though it's smaller. But efficiency-wise, well, we've only done 1.4 miles and 3.6 miles per kilowatt hour, so that's not great. Can you judge it in 1.5 miles? I don't think so. So let's drive this up and down Thorpe Road and see what efficiency we get. In the Soul, we'd be getting 5 miles per kilowatt hour on this short trip without any hesitation.
Well, I've just got 5.4, haven't I?
You just got 5.4, did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, what were you testing?
A Kia Soul.
So Susan's just been out for a test drive in a Kia Soul. As a potential replacement for our Kia Soul, so just to upgrade it and refresh it, and that's £22,500 for that car. So if this is 36.5 and the Enyaq was 36.5, and this Soul is, you know, a good 12,500 cheaper to get a new car, it really does make you think, you know, what does the car have to have to make you want to spend that more money? The obvious thing with this EV3 is, well, it's a new modern car, you know, it looks new and modern, and you've gone for the new model, and that's obviously always exciting, but is this worth £14,000 more than a new Soul.
Newer Soul.
Yeah, is it worth 14,000? You can say, oh, it's got a bigger battery, it goes further, but if the efficiency is not as good, then it won't go as far. So does it really matter? Charging curve will be better, yes, but yeah, I do find people rave about charging curves and how fast the car can charge, but who cares if it does 200 kilowatts or 250 kilowatts or 175 kilowatts of charging? When we go to a public charger, we're ready to stop. So do we want a car that's going to be ready and charged before we're ready to go? That means you've got to go back out and move the car. You don't want to keep charging it and spend extra at the public charger. So having a faster car charging, I don't know, for me it's not as good a thing. I'd rather be able to turn the charging speed down on the DC side and make it charge slower so I can stay there longer but not get more charge into the car. But I'm not a commuter. I'm not up and down the motorways constantly wanting to refill the car. I'm not doing a 1,000-mile challenge like Bjorn Nyland. When we public charge, it's more often than not a splash and dash. We haven't quite got enough for the journey and you just want to add some more, but you only want to add the minimum to get you home, plus a tiny bit of contingency. So that's the only time when a faster charging curve, a faster DC charging ability would be better, because your splash and dash would be 2 minutes or 3 minutes instead of 5 minutes. You know, you'd save a couple of minutes. But physically, if we were doing a 300 or 400 mile road trip, I mean, that'd be a once in I don't know how many years job. So the faster DC charging doesn't really make a big difference to us at all. So I don't think even in this EV3, which will have better charging, we would notice the difference on public charging compared to the Soul. The Soul charges at 70 kilowatts as its optimum, or around 50 most of the time. And we often stop at 50 kilowatt DC rapid chargers. So again, you know, I think you can compare specs, but you're just playing top trumps, working out what's better. It's really is a case of working out what's better for you. Space in the boot for Cracker though, in this. What did you think, Susan?
Yeah, can you just turn the aircon on, because he's a bit hot in the back?
Aircon, can I turn the aircon on? That's a good question. Where is the aircon? No, I'll have to open the windows.
Yeah, there you go, that's
I
better.
can't see an aircon button. But mode.
Oh, it just turns the
There
huffer.
it is on, it's on already.
Is it? Well, it just seems a bit hot in the back.
Okay,
I can hear him
I've
panting.
opened the windows.
Okay. Well, you're going to lose the sound quality now.
One of the big changes in this car compared to what we've just tested, the Skoda is a very dated interior. And I like that because it's more traditional and it's using darker, more higher quality materials. So it's a nice feel to it. When we tested the Mini and Mini Countryman and the Aceman, their updated, more modern interior just felt cheap. And I think the Volkswagen interiors look and feel cheap inside. This, the light coloured plastics do make it look and feel a little bit cheap on this door trim. But the silver trim and the plastics that are here and the steering wheel feel plenty good enough quality. So I think Kia have done a very good job here of updating it and making it light and fresh and modern, but also adding some quality. So yeah, I don't have a problem with this interior, but I probably prefer a darker trim. Can't actually see. Oh, Christ, women drivers. You missed that one, Susan.
I didn't. I was.
Yeah, on the door handle, the door rest, where the buttons are for the window controls and the central door locking, etc. The light beige coloured plastic with white with white images on what they are. So I can't read and can't see what any of the buttons do. I have to know it from memory. So personally, the light coloured trim doesn't work for me, and they should have gone for black writing on it instead of white. But I suppose it looks nice in the evening. I suppose they're illuminated nicely. But I like this, the seating position. I wish the seat was a little bit taller on the back, but other than that, it's comfortable. I do feel comfy. The bottom feels nice and comfy, whereas the Enyaq vRs felt hard on the bottom. It was quite a firm seat. This is quite nice. I like this. Yeah, I do. I like this car, Susan. Okay. So we've driven the car for a few miles now, and I've got to say I prefer it as a drive to the Soul. The seat is more comfortable. It feels the same sort of size and dynamics of it, but it is just slightly better to drive, slightly nicer. Way, way better than the Enyaq to drive. Efficiency, we're up to 4.4 miles per kilowatt hour, and we've seen just above 5 after we went down a little hill. The only surprising thing I've seen is the miles of range difference on having the fan of the climate on. So not air conditioning on, not heating on, just the fan. 13 miles difference between having a fan on and the fan off. It must be a really, really high wattage fan is all I can say. That does not seem right. So I guess, again, it's just a number on a screen, but is that a trend with this Kia? Let's show you more information and more data, but it's not accurate. I don't know. The climate controls on changing the airflow onto your feet in the center or above, you seem to press this little button and it goes through a cycle of them. So you're not pressing to say which area I want, you're just pressing and it cycles through. It's not great, and it is hidden by the steering wheel slightly. But I've seen that in some reviews, people saying this climate control stuff is in the way of the steering wheel. That doesn't bother me at all, to be honest. But the start button being not reachable unless you go through the middle of the steering wheel or up and under, the start button is in a more awkward place. So yeah, the climate controls being out of the way doesn't bother me. I mean, you can just move your head and have a look round the corner and you can touch it all. I think it's absolutely fine. I hated the Enyaq screen being too far away on all of the information on the right hand side, whereas all of the stuff that I want in this is all on the driver's side. It is better. The usage of the screen is better, the display is better. So would I buy an EV3, this GTLine, for £36,500? The answer is yes, I would buy this car. This is a nice car. I really like it. I would be happy owning and driving one of these. But the big question, is it worth £14,000 more than an almost new Soul? So what does this do for £14,000 more? Okay, it's 6 months newer than the Soul. I suppose that makes it worth a few £1,000s. It looks modern. That might be worth a little bit as well. It's got a bigger battery, but it doesn't seem to go much further. So is that worth any more money? I don't know. So value for money, I'm not convinced it is good value for money. Probably the Air trim might be better value because that's a few thousand less, probably 3,500 to 4,000 less. But then would it be as nice? Because these seats are nice as they are. So Susan and I are going to have a talk and have a think. I'm just going to pull over soon and let Susan have a quick drive in the car and see what she thinks. So it's a definite maybe for me. I'm impressed with the car. I like the car. I'd be happy owning one of these. I'd be more happy driving this than the Soul. But it's marginal. Anyway, that's my thoughts and opinion. Catch you later on more video updates on what we're doing with our cars. Bye for now.
So drum roll, what did we buy? Well, here's another weird part to the transaction. We bought another blue Soul, so exactly the same colour with a black roof. It's just a 24 reg. It's 4 years newer than the outgoing one that we traded in. The reason in the end why we didn't go for an EV3 was the interior. Susan didn't like the multicoloured interior with the light trim. If it could come in different seat colours and trim colours, we would have probably gone for the EV3. We looked at the Air trim and that had all grey, but I thought the all grey just made it look a little bit cheaper. Not as nice as the interior of the Kia Soul. Now, the really weird thing about this transaction is that we were in the Mini when we went to the Kia dealer, and yet they agreed to buy and trade in our Kia Soul against this new Kia Soul. But they never saw it. So they agreed a price, we signed up and did the deal there and then, and then came back a week later and paid for it. The day that we picked it up was yesterday, Monday, and they didn't even look at the car. So they were happy to trade in our car, sight unseen, just on verbal discussion about the condition of the car. I was flabbergasted at that. I've never seen that before. Really, really weird.
As always, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video. You're probably going to disagree with us on our decision making and what we did and why we did it, but there you go. We're all different, aren't we? And we all do things for different reasons. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Take care. See you again soon for more content. Bye for now. Oh, yeah, monthly update coming soon. I've got all the numbers together. Just need to edit it together.